Welcome to Manchester Vibes, your one-stop channel for everything happening in the heart of Manchester. Man United transfer news. Ruben Amorim's request to land next Cristiano Ronaldo. Manchester United's recruitment over the years has left a lot to be desired, and Ruben Amorim wants the club to seek talent from Portugal, having missed several gems in recent years. Manchester United's defeat at home to Bournemouth underlined the need for change at Old Trafford. Ruben Amorim is still getting to grips with the players, who themselves are having to adapt to his unique philosophy, which sees the team playing with a back three. Defensively, they continue to struggle, but there may not be any quick fix. United invested heavily in the summer, and there are a lack of funds available for Amorim, which means he may have to work with what he's got for now. A new striker is likely to be on his wish list, which the new man in the dugout wanting to make changes to their scouting operation. Here's the latest from Manchester. Amorim's scouting plan to find next Ronaldo. Amorim wants United to build a brand new scouting team in Portugal. The new manager believes the club's network in his homeland has dropped off since it brought Cristiano Ronaldo to the club 21 years ago, and wants a reboot. Ronaldo was signed from Sporting as a teenager in 2003, and became a goal-scoring legend at Old Trafford under Sir Alex Ferguson before moving on to Real Madrid. Nani is another successful Portuguese recruit, but Amorim has concerns that the top young talent in his home country has been missed by United in recent years. Only Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot, who were signed in 2020 and 2018 respectively, have made a significant impact at United in recent years, and young stars from Portugal have gone to other leading teams in recent years. Bernardo Silva and Ruben Dias have been crucial in the success achieved by rivals Manchester City. Chelsea's Pedro Neto is cited as another prime example. Rashford rattles dressing room. Rashford has left the club's dressing room frustrated after revealing he wants to leave the club. The homegrown star has been left out of Amorim's last two squads, and the player's bombshell statement came out in the aftermath of United's derby win over Manchester City. It had already been suggested that the Red Devils were open to the 27-year-old's exit, potentially in January. Now the Englishman himself has appeared to further that agenda by suggesting publicly he's keen to try something new. For me, personally, I think I'm ready for a new challenge and the next steps, Rashford said. When I leave, it's going to be no hard feelings. You're not going to have any negative comments from me about Manchester United. That's me as a person. Rashford's public declaration did not go down well in the dressing room, according to The Sun. A portion of the squad are said to be dismayed by the comments, which served as a distraction following their statement win over. Manchester United transfer update. Ruben Amorim's Marcus Rashford replacement likely to leave in January window. Manchester United transfer target Randal Kolo Muani is very likely to leave Paris Saint-Germain in the January transfer window, according to reports. The Red Devils were beaten 3-0 by Bournemouth on Sunday in a humiliating defeat at Old Trafford, a match in which they failed to convert any of their four big chances. United's struggles in front of goal have been highlighted in the same week that Marcus Rashford announced his intention to leave his boyhood club, with boss Ruben Amorim leaving him out of the squad for 3 consecutive games. If Amorim's side are to mount a challenge for the Champions League spots in the second half of the season, then January additions in the forward line are a must, though they could find that their options are limited given many clubs are reluctant to lose players in the winter. However, Florian Plettenberg reports that Kolo Muani's exit from PSG has been sanctioned, be it on loan or on a permanent transfer. Why Man United need a striker? United have failed to score 6 times in the Premier League this season, and their record of 46 big chances created is only the top flight's joint 9th best return. Though United scored 3 times against Tottenham Hotspur during their EFL Cup quarter-final clash on December 19th, at least 2 of their goals can be attributed to mistakes by Spurs goalkeeper Fraser Forster. When eliminating penalty kicks from the equation, the Red Devils have only scored 18 goals in the league, the joint 5th fewest of any team. Bruno Fernandes and Rashford are United's joint highest goal scorers in the Premier League, having found the back of the net 4 times each. But it is concerning that 30 players have scored more than them in the top flight. Striker Rasmus Højlund has scored just twice, while Joshua Zirkzee has netted on 3 occasions in the Premier League, and while both are young and could get better as the season progresses, their lack of output is concerning for a club the size of Man United. Though Højlund must improve in front of goal in order to establish himself as United's starting number 9, he has already shown some improvement under Amorim. The 21-year-old used to be bullied off the ball by physically strong defenders, but his hold-up play has developed since the arrival of the Portuguese manager. Amorim's 3-4-3 system only has room for one striker, and considering United have already spent significant sums on Højlund and Zirkzee, it would be difficult to justify further outlay on Kolo Muani. Perhaps it would be wiser to look for ways of increasing the team's ability to create chances rather than finish them, as while Amad Diallo and Bruno Fernandes are capable in the final third. United's wingback options have proven to be somewhat limited in wide areas. If the Red Devils could secure Kolo Muani on loan without an obligation to buy, then the Frenchman. Man United striker Joshua Zirkzee fails to capitalise on start versus Bournemouth. Manchester United suffered their 7th defeat of the Premier League campaign following a 3-0 loss to Bournemouth at Old Trafford on Sunday. The Red Devils lacked the cutting the edge in the final third. They paid the price with the Cherries beating them at home for the second season running. Manager Ruben Amorim continued his rotation policy with 6 changes yesterday, and he picked Joshua Zirkzee to lead the attack ahead of Rasmus Højlund. The decision did not prove worthwhile with the Dutchman being non-existent as a striking force. He registered just 4 successful passes in his 19 touches. Zirkzee won only 3 out of 7 duels contested and lost possession on 10 occasions. On top of this, he was partly responsible for the opening goal conceded after failing to track the run of Dean Huijsen, who had an easy header to score. In our view, Amorim must drop him to the bench for the Boxing Day trip to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Manchester United suffered their 7th defeat of the Premier League campaign following a 3-0 loss to Bournemouth at Old Trafford on Sunday. The Red Devils lacked the cutting the edge in the final third. They paid the price with the Cherries beating them at home for the second season running. Manager Ruben Amorim continued his rotation policy with 6 changes yesterday, and he picked Joshua Zirkzee to lead the attack ahead of Rasmus Højlund. The decision did not prove worthwhile with the Dutchman being non-existent as a striking force. He registered just 4 successful passes in his 19 touches. Zirkzee won only 3 out of 7 duels contested and lost possession on 10 occasions. On top of this, he was partly responsible for the opening goal conceded after failing to track the run of Dean Huijsen, who had an easy header to score. In our view, Amorim must drop him to the bench for the Boxing Day trip to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Zirkzee has shown signs of returning to form with 3 goals under Amorim, but his contribution off the ball was hugely disappointing against the Cherries. He did not come close to scoring either with just 1 shot off target. Rasmus Højlund had a much better showing coming off the bench to replace him. The Dane had 24 touches with 10 passes. He had 2 attempts on goal with 1 of those on target. United have dropped 9 points behind the guaranteed Champions League spots after Sunday's loss. They have to respond with a strong showing on Thursday. It won't be an easy challenge as Wolves are coming off a 3-0 win at Leicester City. United need to turn up with a better defensive display against the Midlands outfit. Juventus could offer €50 million for Joshua Zirkzee. Manchester United striker Joshua Zirkzee has been linked with a move away from the club. The 23-year-old Dutch international has not been able to live up to the expectations since the move to the Premier League, and Juventus are prepared to provide him with an exit route. According to Fischages, the Italian outfit are looking to sign the striker, and they would be willing to pay €50 million to get the deal done. It will be interesting to see if Manchester United are ready to sell the player. Even though he has not been able to live up to the expectations, he remains a talented player with a bright future. He has shown his quality in Italian football, and he has the attributes to shine in the Premier League as well. Manchester United are struggling as a team, and it has been difficult for new players to settle in. Perhaps the Red Devils should be more patient with him and let him develop under their new manager, Ruben Amorim. The Portuguese manager managed to get the best out of Victor Gyökeres during his time at Sporting CP, and he might be able to bring out the best in the Dutch attacker as well. It will be interesting to see how the situation develops. Zirkzee to replace Vlahovic? Meanwhile, it is no surprise that Juventus are keen on him. Zirkzee was a handful during his time at Bologna, and the Italian outfit will have seen him perform a close. They need attacking reinforcements, especially with Dusan Vlahovic linked with a move away from the club. Zirkzee could prove to be the ideal replacement for the Serbian international. A return to Italy could be attractive for the player as well. He might feel that a fresh start could help him get back to his best. He has not been able to adapt to English football as much as he would have liked. A return to his comfort zone could bring out the best in him once again, and Juventus are one of the biggest clubs in Italy. The opportunity to play for them could be attractive for the player. Manchester United parted ways with Erik ten Hag after a disappointing start to the 2024-25 campaign, with Ruben Amorim replacing him. Manchester United will be hoping to get their season back on track, and they have appointed Ruben Amorim as their new manager. The 39-year-old Portuguese manager is highly rated across Europe, and he is impressed with his exploits at Sporting CP. Amorim has guided them to 2 league titles during his 4 years at the club, and he will now be expected to inspire Manchester United back to the top of English football. There is no doubt that Manchester United have a talented squad at their disposal and that they have been underperforming in the last few seasons. It will be interesting to see if the 39-year-old can get the best out of his players. Apart from the inability to get the best out of his squad, Erik ten Hag was heavily criticized for not being able to assert his vision and implement a distinct style of play at Manchester United.